Stop everything! Gas prices in Texas are already climbing, but what if I told you tariffs could make them skyrocket even more? That's right. Tariffs on imported oil could hit Texans right where it hurts, at the pump. But how does it all work, and what does it mean for you? Buckle up, because we're about to break it down in the wildest way possible. Let's go. Part 1. What are tariffs and why do they matter? All right, let's start with the basics. Tariffs are taxes on imported goods, and they're designed to protect domestic industries by making foreign products more expensive. Sounds simple, right? But here's the catch. Texas imports a lot of oil, especially from Canada and Mexico. In fact, Canada supplies over 50% of the oil imported to the U.S., and Mexico comes in second at 11%. If tariffs are slapped on these imports, the cost of oil goes up, and guess what? That means higher gas prices for you. Part 2. How tariffs could impact Texas gas prices. Expanded. All right, Texans, buckle up because we're diving deep into how tariffs on imported oil could crank up those gas prices. Let's connect the dots and see how this could impact you directly at the pump and beyond. Higher costs at the pump. This is where it hurts the most. Your wallet. When tariffs are placed on imported oil, the cost of that oil increases for refineries. These refineries rely on a mix of domestic and imported oil to meet demand, and if the imported oil becomes pricier, they pass those costs down to you. For perspective, gas prices in Texas currently average around $3.30 per gallon. But with a tariff-induced spike, that number could climb to $4 or even higher, depending on how steep the tariffs are. A 25% tariff could mean paying an extra $10 to $15 every time you fill up your tank. Multiply that over a year, and suddenly you're looking at hundreds of dollars more in expenses just for gas. Why Texas isn't immune, even as an oil powerhouse. You might be thinking, wait, isn't Texas the oil capital of the U.S.? Why are we relying on imported oil at all? Here's the deal. Texas produces a ton of oil, but not all crude oil is created equal. Refineries often need a specific mix of heavy and light crude oils to create gasoline, and much of the heavy crude comes from imports, particularly Canada and Mexico. So even though Texas is pumping out domestic oil like a champ, it still relies on these imports to refine fuel efficiently. That means tariffs on imported oil would ripple directly through to Texas refineries and ultimately to drivers. In short, Texas is in the oil business, but it can't go at it alone when it comes to supplying the state's energy needs. Supply chain shocks equals higher prices. Here's where it gets more chaotic. Tariffs don't just raise costs, they create uncertainty. Refineries might scramble to secure alternative oil supplies, disrupting the supply chain. This can lead to production slowdowns, shortages, and even greater price spikes. Think of it like this. The oil market is already like a delicate game of Jenga, and tariffs are the piece that could send the whole thing toppling. Oh, and don't forget about volatility in global oil prices. Tariffs can trigger international trade tensions, which could drive up prices globally. That means you're paying more at the pump while the whole world's oil market is in chaos. The domino effect on the economy. Gas prices don't just stop at the pump, they ripple through the entire economy. Here's how it plays out. Transportation costs. Higher gas prices mean higher costs for shipping goods. Trucking companies, delivery services, and even public transportation systems may pass those extra costs on to consumers. Food prices. Those higher transportation costs hit grocery stores too, driving up the price of food and other essentials. Infrastructure projects. Gas taxes fund many state infrastructure projects. If consumption drops due to high prices, less revenue flows into these projects, potentially delaying or canceling road repairs and public works. So, while rising gas prices might seem like a personal inconvenience, they actually create a ripple effect that impacts every part of daily life in Texas. Who gets hit the hardest? Let's not sugarcoat it. Higher gas prices hurt low-income families and small businesses the most. Many Texans rely on their vehicles for work, school, and errands. When gas prices rise, families are forced to make tough choices: fewer trips, cutting back on other essentials, or finding alternative transportation, which isn't always available in rural areas. Small businesses, especially those in industries like trucking, delivery, and agriculture, are hit hard too. Rising fuel costs eat into already thin profit margins, making it harder to stay competitive. It's like a chain reaction. Higher gas prices hit consumers, businesses, and the overall economy all at once. In summary, tariffs on imported oil don't just mean a few extra dollars at the pump. They unleash a chain reaction that impacts your wallet, your community, and the state economy. Texas might be the oil capital of the U.S., but even the Lone Star State isn't immune to the ripple effects of global trade policies. The next time you fill up your tank, remember, those gas prices tell a bigger story about how tariffs can shake things up on a massive scale. Part 4. What can Texans do? Expanded. All right, Texans, gas prices might be climbing, but don't panic just yet. While we can't single-handedly stop tariffs or global trade policies, there's a lot you can do to stay ahead of the game. Let's break down how Texans can adapt, save money, and ride out this gas price roller coaster like absolute pros. 1. Drive smarter, not harder. You've probably heard it before, but driving smarter can make a huge difference when gas prices rise. Carpool, like a champ. Got coworkers or friends who take the same route? Carpooling can save you tons on gas, and it's more fun with company too. Public transportation. If you live in areas like Dallas, Austin, or Houston, taking the bus or train is not only cost-effective, but also hassle-free during rush hour. Combined trips. Instead of running out every time you need something, plan your errands in one go. Efficiency for the win. Avoid idling. Sitting in your car with the engine running burns gas for no reason. Turn it off if you're waiting. Those extra dollars add up. Pro tip: apps like Gas Buddy can help you find the cheapest gas stations in your area. Be fuel savvy. Second, upgrade to fuel-efficient vehicles. While it's not an overnight solution, switching to a fuel-efficient car can be a game changer. Hybrids and EVs, electric vehicles. Hybrid cars can give you amazing gas mileage, and electric vehicles eliminate gas dependency altogether. With federal tax credits and incentives, now's the time to consider making the switch. Compact cars over gas guzzlers. If you're not ready to go electric, trading in a gas guzzler for a smaller fuel-efficient car could save you hundreds in fuel costs each year. Pro tip: for Texans traveling short distances or around cities, electric cars could be a solid option, especially with the growing number of charging stations statewide. 3. Monitor and maintain your ride. Keeping your car in peak condition is a simple yet powerful way to reduce fuel costs. Proper tire pressure. Underinflated tires cause your car to burn more gas. Check your pressure regularly and keep it at the recommended level. Regular maintenance. Clean air filters and regular oil changes keep your engine running efficiently. Lighten your load. Hauling heavy items? Extra weight increases fuel consumption, so clear out that trunk unless you absolutely need to bring everything along. Pro tip: invest in fuel system cleaners. They improve engine performance and help you get more miles per gallon. 4. Budget like a pro. When gas prices rise, it's time to tighten the budget elsewhere. Cut back on non-essentials. Skip the coffee shop runs and fancy dinners to offset your gas expenses. Homemade tacos, anyone? Use rewards cards. Gas reward programs or credit cards with fuel perks can help you save money at the pump. Track your spending. Use budgeting apps to keep an eye on where your money's going and make adjustments as needed. Pro tip: keep an emergency fund for unexpected price spikes. It's a lifesaver when things go haywire. 5. Advocate for change. Texans are resilient, and this is where you can make a difference. Get involved and make your voice heard. Support renewable energy. Advocate for investments in renewable energy like solar and wind power. Transitioning to clean energy can reduce our dependence on imported oil in the long run. Promote local oil producers. Rally behind Texas-based oil companies that are also feeling the pressure from tariffs. Supporting local industries strengthens the state's economy. Stay informed. Educate yourself and others about how tariffs affect gas prices and the bigger economy. Knowledge is power, and it's contagious. Pro tip: join local community groups or events that push for smarter energy policies and innovation. 6th, plan for the long haul. Gas price surges might stick around for a while, so planning ahead is key. Rethink your commute. If you live far from work, now might be the time to consider options like remote work or moving closer to reduce mileage. Adjust your lifestyle. Walking or biking for short trips not only saves gas, but also keeps you fit. Bonus win. Think big picture. High gas prices are a great motivator to think about long-term changes, whether that's cutting down on driving or considering alternative energy sources. A Texan's way forward. Gas prices might hit hard, but Texans know how to roll with the punches. Whether it's driving smarter, budgeting better, or embracing fuel-efficient tech, you got the tools to make it through. And remember, the ripple effects of change start with you. Small steps lead to big wins. Let's ride this out, Lone Star style.